Hi everybody, my name is... Come on, I just hit record. Hello?
I want to play a game.
Can you please take my number off the call list? Thanks. Hi everybody, my name's King Newsme. I asked you guys which episode of The Haunting Hour you wanted to see me talk about, and you guys voted for Wrong Number. One of the most popular and memorable episodes of the series, and whether you voted for it because of the fond memories you have from watching it as a child, or because you were one of the few that voted for it just because there was a goth girl in the poll, you sick freaks, I'm still pretty excited to talk about it. For those of you guys that don't know, The Haunting Hour is a show that aired from 2010 to 2014 on a now defunct channel called The Hub. It was created by R.L. Stein, who's known for his popular book series turned TV show, Goosebumps. The Haunting Hour is known as a darker version of Goosebumps and is one of the scariest kid shows of all time, with some actually terrifying monsters and some pretty dark twist endings to the episodes. They take short stories from Stein's other books, like one so conveniently named The Haunting Hour, and another one called The Nightmare Hour, as well as some short stories made by other authors, which is why I really like this series. Today we're taking a look at Wrong Number, the 16th episode of the first season that stars Debby Ryan as our main character, Steffani Howard. You might know Debby Ryan from one of her Disney Channel shows like Sweet Life on Deck or Jessie, or maybe you know her from her famous movie that hit the world by storm, Radio Rebel. She's also married to 21 Pilots drummer Josh Dunn. I just like that fact. This episode is directed by Neil Fernley, and he has directed some of the best episodes in the series, like all of the Lily D episodes, Pumpkinheads, Grampires, Dreamcatcher, and so many more. Also, I feel like I need to mention that this episode isn't based on the Fear Street book with the same name. Besides prank calling people, they're nothing alike. But that's enough yapping, let's get into the episode. We start this episode by meeting our main character Steffani and her best friend Taylor. And in a voiceover, we learn that Steffani isn't like other girls because she's just hot and popular and everybody should bow down and kiss her feet. She doesn't say that, but I'm sure she would. I mean, the way she introduces us to Taylor should tell you all you need to know about her.
The slightly less hot girl next to me is my BFF, Taylor Turner.
Yeah, she's pretty horrible. Sadly, Taylor is doomed to follow in her footsteps and never have an original thought. As she slow-mo walks down the hallway, she complains that all the boring girls get the lead roles in these movies and that it's totally unfair. Yeah, because I relate to a girl who's full of herself. Makes sense. Luckily, this cringe-inducing scene gets interrupted when Steffani accidentally runs into the goth girl.
Watch where you're going.
Yeah, little Miss No Sunshine.
This is Adriana, the token weird girl for this episode, and she's played by Casey Roll, who was last seen on this channel in the episode Pumpkinheads. She played the older sister Allie. She's also in the two-parter episode Golem as Bonnie. Oh, and Taylor is played by Sarah Dugdale, and she was last seen on this channel as Lisa in one of my favorite Haunting Hour episodes, Creature Feature. After Steffani rudely bumps Adriana, she doesn't even feel the need to insult her to her face. She uses texts instead. Oh, actually, I just got a text of my own. Hold on. She even broke Adriana's phone and acts like nothing happened. But despite her best friend being a total asshole, Taylor still apologizes to Adriana. So there is still some hope left in her. Cut to later that night, they're hanging out, doing girl stuff, painting their toenails, whatever girls do, when one of Steffani's favorite songs comes on the radio. So of course they crank it up and they start dancing and having fun. But it's quickly ruined by Miss Belzovich, her elderly next door neighbor who hates fun. Fun fact, the song that they listen to in this scene was actually made by Debby Ryan for this episode specifically. It's called Made of Matches, and you can listen to the whole song here on YouTube. I listened to it and, well, it's just not for me, I guess. But I listened to it. Also, another fun fact, this poster in her room shows up in the episode Catching Cold behind Marty in his room. And believe it or not, Steffani is actually rude to her neighbor. Can you believe that? She turns up the music just to piss her off even more. But Miss Belzovich is a persistent old lady, and she comes straight to the door and spams the doorbell like there's no tomorrow. She pretty much tells Steffani what we already know about her to her face, that she's an awful human being. She even tells Steffani that she'll stop ringing the doorbell whenever Steffani stops playing her music so loudly. And she even offers to teach the girls how to be nice. But I think you know how Steffani reacts. She tells the old lady that she can play her music as loudly as she wants. God, you're being so mean, you're killing the old lady. Come on, man. Would it kill you to be nice for 2 seconds?
Thanks so much for stopping by, Miss Biazovich.
What did she say?
Biazovich.
I literally cannot tell if she is saying bitch or vitch right there. It's impossible for me. It must have been bitch because she has had it with these rude girls and she holds the door open and all but curses the two girls. Somehow the rage Miss Biazovich feels for the girls makes the doorknob freeze over, which makes Steffani let go and gave Miss Biazovich ample time to grab her hair. Luckily, Taylor closes the door before anything too crazy happens, but I don't think it's over yet.
She's gonna pay. Big time.
By the way, Miss Beelzevich was played by Karen Conoval, and she was also in the two-parter The Most Evil Sorcerer in this show. She played old Griselda. She's also in a lot of other cool movies too, like Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and she plays Maurice in Planet of the Apes. She's also appeared in a couple of Supernatural and The X-Files episodes. Next, we cut to Miss Beelzevich as she's getting a pretty strange phone call.
Hi, is this Amanda Hagenkiss?
Okay, Steffani, I've seen The Simpsons before. Come up with your own joke.
Hey, I'm looking for Amanda Hagenkiss.
But she does get Miss Beelzevich with the joke.
Not surprising.
Who'd want to hug and kiss an old hag like you anyways?
Oh, but one prank call isn't enough because she calls back immediately for round 2. And round 3. And by round 3, Miss Beelzevich has had it and warned Steffani to not call her back or else.
No mercy for mean girls.
Damn, Steffani's gonna die for sure. The next day, Steffani is leaving for school when she spots paramedics going into Miss Beelzevich's apartment. She calls her friend Taylor so the two nosy girls can spy on the workers and see what's going on. As they're peering through her peephole, they spot some guys from the morgue that go into her apartment with a stretcher. That's not good.
The younger one is way cute.
Dude, now is not the time to try to pick up dudes that are way older than you. Really, an old lady just died and she's gonna give him her number. Cool, great. Awesome. Jesus, man, your dead neighbor's right there. Maybe she deserves to be cursed. She's kind of horrible. Later that day at school, Steffani does her usual bullying to poor Adriana. But this is when she gets an alarming text from a blocked number. They text multiple times saying, "It's bad to be a mean girl. I tried to warn you. I told you to be nice girls." Obviously, this freaks Steffani out, and back at home, she's telling Taylor about the text, and she says that when she texted back, the message didn't go through. And that's when she gets another text. "Less fix hair. More fix you." Okay, that one wasn't as intimidating as the other ones. Steffani tries to think of a rational explanation for all the texts.
I know who's sending the messages. It's Howdy Mort guy.
Why would he be texting you creepy shit like that? Why would he be texting you? You're like 16. Someone call Chris Hansen. Call him. Let's get him going. Let's get him going.
Weird way to flirt.
Hey, at least Taylor is on my side. That's when Steffani gets a call from the blocked number. She answers it and she hears, "Yeah, I don't think it's your morgue dude." After the number hangs up, she quickly calls them back and Miss Beelzevich's phone rings on the other side of the wall. The girls are officially creeped out by this point, but what's even worse is Taylor's phone rings this time. So even she's not safe from this anymore. Taylor answers the phone and hears the same thing they heard from Steffani's phone earlier, except this time you can hear a blood-curdling scream on the other side.
Who is this? I can't understand you.
Steffani picks up the phone and calls the number back to see if it comes from the neighbor's apartment, but the phone doesn't ring. But there is someone over there.
Someone's in there.
Finally, Steffani has had enough, and the two girls break into the apartment to see if someone is messing with them. They scour through the apartment and they find some pretty strange things, like lit candles and some lights are still on. They also hear coughing, almost like Miss Beelzevich is still in there. They go into her room and they discover that the bang they heard was coming from the bed hitting the wall. But who pushed the bed into the wall? Finally, while they're still in there, Taylor calls the blocked number, and of course, the phone starts ringing. The only issue is it's not connected to anything. As the girls search the apartment for more clues, they find one of Steffani's hair clips in a jar with other strange witchy objects. The next day, Steffani gets a text from the blocked number, and it's just a picture of an eye, like someone is watching her very closely all the time. Taylor also gets a text, and it's a picture of Steffani from the night before. Looks like somebody is watching them all the time. Steffani is finally tired of this shit, so she tries to text the number back to tell them to stop, but she gets a visit from an unwanted visitor. Okay, that's actually pretty freaky. I don't know what I would do if a spider crawled over my phone like that. That was so freaky that she actually threw her phone away. And Taylor's phone. She's really not messing around anymore. The two girls go to the library to find Adriana and ask her for a favor. Understandably, Adriana does not want to help her because she's just been mean to her whole life.
Whenever mean to you.
You're always mean.
They tell her about Miss Beelzevich and how they think she's haunting them. And they figured Adriana could help them because she's goth?
I think she's haunting us.
And I thought maybe you're a witch.
Yeah, that's a little out of line, Steffani. Adriana tells them that she's not a witch, but if they're actually haunted, she might be able to help them. And Adriana gives them her uncle's address because he's actually an expert in the paranormal. And she tells them to meet him after school. And on their way out, the librarian stops Steffani and tells her that she got a call. And as you could probably imagine, it's not good.
Your heart will be ground and thrown to the wolves.
Jesus, Bezelvich ain't messing around anymore. God dang. The girls go and meet Adriana's uncle Constantine, and they tell him what's been happening and that they really want a protection spell. So he opens his trunk of herbs and wonders and gives the girls hellebore leaves. He tells them to put them all around the bed at night and go to sleep and they'll be safe. And he says to do everything he tells them because their lives actually depend on it. By the way, Uncle Constantine is played by Andrew Cavadas. He was also in the episode Night of the Mummy in The Haunting Hour. He's also got a pretty crazy acting and voice acting career. He's been in R.L. Stein's The Cabinet of Souls, also Death Note, Dragon Ball Z, Twilight Zone, and so many other things. That night, the girls have a sleepover, so they're both protected from the evil Bezelvich. They sprinkle the leaves all around their bed, so they're surely protected, right? Sadly for them, they brought the old ghost in their home. Bezelvich's soul comes out of the jar with her hair clip in it, and she's there to get revenge. The girls seek refuge in the bathroom, but nowhere is safe from Miss Bezelvich. She blows some magic under the door, which causes a ton of spiders to chase them into the bathtub.
Oh, they're getting bigger!
No, I'm pretty sure the camera just zoomed in. Yeah, that's definitely just a zoom in. They're not getting bigger. And during the panic, Steffani comes up with an idea to trap Bezelvich using the shower curtain. She's just going to get Taylor to open the door real quick, and then she's going to wrap the curtain around her, trap her, and leave. So they quickly attempt this, and it doesn't work. She's a ghost, you idiot. But it does give them enough time to try and escape. But sadly, that doesn't work either. Finally, Taylor apologizes to Miss Bezelvich and promises that she'll be a nice girl and nice to her and everyone else from now on. But Steffani, she has a harder time apologizing. Technically, she does it, but it's very insincere and Bezelvich isn't buying it. But I guess Bezelvich is feeling nice today and she's willing to give the girls a chance to be nice because she unlocks the door and lets the girls free. And I'm sure by now Steffani has learned her lesson and she will never be mean again.
She's the one who can't stop being a disgusting, awful old hag.
Are you serious, man? The door was literally open and you could not help yourself, could you? And since Taylor sincerely apologized and learned her lesson, she is free to leave. But Steffani, on the other hand, she's not getting away so easily. Bezelvich takes a video of Steffani that traps her inside her phone, and she sends the trapped Steffani over to Adriana, who doesn't think twice before deleting Steffani out of existence. And that's the end of the episode. I told you she was gonna die at some point. Unlikable character in The Haunting Hour? Dead every single time. And for anybody who's confused, Miss Bezelvich was Adriana and Constantine's grandmother. And it was all an elaborate plan made by both Adriana and Miss B to get revenge on Steffani for being such a horrible person to both of them. I also love when The Haunting Hour makes a character so unlikable that you feel no remorse when they die or get erased from the cloud. Now, this episode isn't exactly like poop your pants scary like a lot of the other Haunting Hour episodes are, but the twist at the end was pretty good. I did not see that coming. I fully expected Steffani to get her comeuppance somehow, but I didn't expect her to get trapped in a phone. That was pretty crazy. And as for the episode itself, it's just okay. Some people claim it's one of the best episodes in all of the series, but I'd have to disagree with you there. There are tons of way better episodes. Most of the best episodes I haven't even talked about yet, but even some of the ones I have talked about are way better. Not saying it's a terrible episode though. I definitely had a lot of fun watching it and talking about it. It's honestly really campy and really fun if you ask me. I mean, Steffani is one of the most over-the-top popular girl characters I have ever seen. And I think Debby Ryan was the perfect choice for her because she has this certain quirkiness to her that makes you not want to fully hate Steffani, no matter how badly you really want to. Also, I want to talk about Taylor and her small character arc in this episode. She starts off in this episode being a total follower, doing and repeating everything Steffani does to the point where she even flips her hair whenever Steffani flips her hair. But by the end of the episode, she actually stands up to Steffani and saves her own life by finally not following in her every move. So, big applause for Taylor. She's the GOAT. I think some people could learn a thing or two from her. And I think Karen Konoval did a great job as Miss B in this episode. She's honestly pretty eerie, but she does a really good job being threatening despite looking like she's going to pass away in a couple of hours, which she also did. But Miss B, she kind of saves this episode for me. I'm sure if they made her like a reoccurring character in the show, she would have been vastly loved. Can you imagine like multiple episodes of Miss B teaching kids how to be nice? That would have been awesome. But that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comments below. Also, let me know what other Haunting Hour episodes you want to see me talk about. I have a Patreon and YouTube members. The $5 members get bonus content plus videos a day early, maybe some pictures of my cats, a Discord server, also your name right here on screen. Like the video if you like the video. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. I appreciate you all, and peace.